Well, good evening, America. It's Al Ferguson at Q News Tonight. We are live. We are the world's first live daily gay evening news, and we're going to prove it tonight. I'm joined with my anchor partners, Aaron Darr. Good evening, Aaron.
Good evening.
And Napoleon Plays.
Good to be here.
And we have a show frame in front of us, but we're going to breaking news as we speak. 18 minutes ago, Iran launched at least 10 missiles against U.S. troops in Iraq, and Aaron's going to bring us up to date in this live breaking news as we speak.
Yes, it's very breaking news. We only have bits and pieces that are just now coming in as we speak. So it's being hailed as Operation Martyr Soleimani. Iran has officially responded to the United States attack on our Iranian General Soleimani just moments ago by launching an attack at U.S. and U.K. military bases throughout Iraq, more particularly the al-Assad military base. This happens to be the first sign of retaliation against the U.S. by Iran. So this all comes still in the wake of having no brief by President Trump to any of the members of Congress or Senate on the alleged attack that Soleimani was perpetrating against the United States.
We're getting reporting, America and the world. Of course, we're an LGBT news program. This is the first live daily gay evening news show in the world. This attack began from Iran at approximately 6:18 p.m. This is approximately 8:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, January 7th. We're live as the news is coming in, as we're following this breaking development. We don't know anything in terms of injuries yet. We do not know the impact that the missile attack is having on U.S. troops or British troops in Iraq. What's y'all's first response, feelings about what we're watching here live?
I think any student of history is immediately thrown back to World War II. Is this our Ferdinand moment where we have killed somebody that is now going to cause a huge sequence of events that brings us into a huge war or something worse? That's all that can run through my head at this time.
President Trump was very clear. We reported last night was the premiere of Q News Tonight, and we reported in our premiere show last night that on Sunday, President Trump lives just 30 miles from here at Mar-a-Lago, that he had this impromptu news conference on Air Force One as he took off from here in South Florida to return to Washington, and basically called Iran out and said, if you respond and attack U.S. interest, we are going to have a full-scale attack against you. In less than, 24 hours since we reported that on our premiere broadcast episode, Iran has now responded directly against U.S. troops. What do you think, Aaron, the next steps are going to happen?
Well, I think the next steps are we're going to still have to get to the fact of the situation that the president had initially alleged, and that was whether or not General Soleimani actually was going to do any kind of ill will against the United States via any of our bases over in Iraq. And we still have not been briefed, and we still don't know if that is true. And if that indeed is not true, then it is an act of aggression, not just in the eyes of our nation, but as our allies and our adversaries abroad. So it's going to be very foretelling what happens in the coming hours, the coming days, and the coming weeks as we plan our response in regards to what's happening right now across military bases all throughout Iraq.
America and the world, as we tell you, we are very likely the only gay news outlet on the entire planet that is reporting this news live. And that is because this is the world's first live daily gay evening news show. I can't imagine, Aaron, in the first reporting that you give us in what's happened in just the last couple of minutes, that a foreign power would have a missile attack on a U.S.-controlled base of at least 10 missiles reported launched at 6:18 Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, January 7th. We're less than 40-some minutes since the missile attack began. I can't imagine a situation where President Trump, in all of his bravado that we watched over the last 3 years, that this isn't the beginning of some dramatic event that's getting ready to happen.
Oh, we certainly could assume that, but I think what also is going to be very foretelling is the fact that at this military base, it wasn't just U.S. soldiers that were stationed there, it was also U.K. soldiers that were stationed there. So it's going to be very foretelling to see how Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the rest of Parliament over in UK also respond to this as well.
Yeah, I'm curious, in our first reactions, this happened moments before we went live to the world at Q News tonight. Is this a fearful moment for you?
I think if you're paying attention, that there definitely has to be some level of fear. Anytime that we take military action against another country and we weren't planning on it ahead of time, or we weren't aware of the direction in which we were headed, there's always a new level, a new trepidation of fear, because we're not sure what's going to happen next. And for many people, we're not sure what our government is going to do or if it's going to best represent us. And so without that knowledge and without that trust, all that we have is a sense of what's going on and what can we even do to find out what's going on.
Well, as we speak, I mean, my heart is beating out of my chest right now.
Is it?
It is. I am just beside myself right now, what's going on in our country. And I'm very worried for our troops that protect us abroad right now. And I'm just internally praying for them that they are going to get through this, that they are going to not die in vain under an administration that continues to disrespect the Constitution that they are out there fighting, protecting, defending each and every single day. So I'm hoping that as this carries on, that there will be a pathway to pragmatic diplomacy and peace in a way in which our troops and civilians abroad are going to be respected and they are going to be protected in any and all ways possible.
America and the LGBT community, we remind you that Q News tonight, this is Tuesday, January 7th, approximately 8:07 p.m. We are the world's first live gay daily evening news show, and we're reporting to you within the last 40-some minutes. When we came on the air, Iran was attacking the Iraqi bases, including the major U.S. base, with at least 10 missiles that have been launched, reported from Iran, and a very significant attack of retaliation is now underway. I want to focus, because we're an LGBT program and we're a live LGBT program, what do you think the reaction of LGBTQ plus community in America and around the world, what reaction do you think they are having right now, different than perhaps other?
Well, I think personally right now, I think the world is watching. And I think that regardless of who you voted for in the last presidential election, myself included, as someone who did not vote for President Trump, I'm looking for our president to be prepared and ready to lead on day one. I'm looking for our president not to be baited by a tweet and then to have this unbated breath about him that is just unhinged, uncontrolled, with access to nuclear codes and the world's greatest military assets, to be able to respond in a way that's unpragmatic, and the choices that he makes today will affect generations to come. So I think that this is something that not only the LGBT community will be looking at, I think it's something that globally, not just America, but everyone will be looking at in a manner of whatever happens with America, it's a domino effect. It affects everyone.
It's true, Aaron. I mean, we're Q News tonight, and the Q stands for queer, because queer is any group of minority. It is a large spectrum of people. And this is a time when nobody wants to feel like they are the minority, where nobody wants to feel like they're outside of the major interactions that are going on. We want to feel unity as a country. We want to feel like we're being led by a singular unit, by a strong voice as a country. And that is not what this type of action instills within me. I think that other people in the LGBTQ spectrum that are watching tonight and that are involved just in our country and the political actions that we're taking must be feeling that large sense of fear to not know what's going on, what's going to happen, or why we're feeling a sense of outcast because of these actions.
Mm-hmm. Well, America, in summary, we tell you, this is Q News tonight. This is the world's first live daily gay evening news show, and we're proving the value of an LGBT perspective live because we're reporting live on Tuesday, January 7th, as we came on the air at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Iran begins to attack the U.S. major military base in Iraq with at least 10 missiles. And it's breaking as we speak live at this moment. We are coming to you from the World AIDS Museum, our permanent news set here in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We affectionately say the gayest place on planet Earth. We are watching this story. Our production staff is here as we're putting this show on live, and we'll continue to update as we have information for this breaking obviously dramatic event going on in Iran. I can't help but think your observation about Tweet and his tweets of him tweeting yesterday that there are 52 sites as a representation of
Cultural
19,
sites, yes.
and many of them cultural sites, that he's going to have to make good now on that threat.
Which, even to that, the President of the United States, and this is truly unprecedented, he can say one thing via tweet, but at the end of the day, the United States military knows that if they are to attack cultural sites, that is a violation of international law. It's something that the United States and countless other regions and countries all over the world have agreed to, and I don't see the United States military, even if ordered by the President of the United States, I don't see them attacking cultural sites because it's morally wrong.
Yeah.
Even when argued.
Yeah.
Even when argued,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, well, we're going to keep you abreast. As I said, we are live. And speaking of that, the best way for you to help propel Q News tonight is to share us and let people that you're friends with, your friends and family, know about Q News tonight. And the best way to do that is to like and share us.